When your application is running in AWS, at some point, someone has to ultimately be responsible for securing your application. Is it A, you, or B, AWS? The correct answer is C, all of the above. It takes both parties, both you and AWS, to work together to secure your entire application. Now, any good security manager will tell you that you cannot have two different companies securing the same object, or you don't really have security, you have suggestions. We agree. So at AWS, we have what we call the shared responsibility model. We look at your application stack as a whole and divide it up into different pieces. Some of those pieces AWS is 100% responsible for. Other pieces, you the customer are 100% responsible for. Understanding where that division is part of the interaction between you and AWS. Well, let's look at how the stack works from a simplified point of view. We begin at the very bottom of your stack, at the physical level. This is iron and concrete. This is barbed wire fence. Someone has to manage the parking lots. Someone has to manage the physical devices. This is AWS. We don't provide tours of our data center. We don't give any kind of access there as part of our way of protecting the physical side. On top of the physical, we run the AWS network, proprietary networking protocols designed to allow security of our systems, so elements like our virtual private cloud, VPC, can work at scale, at velocity, all designed to protect your traffic. How do we protect that down? Again, we don't tell you as part of our security. Now, if about this point you're saying, you're not telling me a lot of things, I understand that. However, while we can't tell you exactly what we do, we have told auditors very specifically what we do. If you simply go to aws.amazon.com/compliance, you will see a number of third-party audits that have gone through and regularly go through our network stack, our physical elements, all to provide you very exacting information that when we say our network is secure, somebody not Amazon has gone through, someone you can trust, that explains how it's done. On top of our network, we have the hypervisor. Now, we do disclose that the AWS hypervisor uses a Xen-based hypervisor. Having said that, we've made a lot of specific changes to the hypervisor that make it secure, that make it scalable, that make it so we can run 1 million concurrent customers, all without worry of leakage of any data. On top of the hypervisor, if you are running EC2, there is a magic dividing line that separates the guest operating system from the hypervisor in the Elastic Compute Cloud. And in this case, you choose the operating system. You choose Linux or Windows, whichever flavor you want, and you choose which applications are running. And above that line, AWS has 0 visibility. There is nothing that we can do to see what's happening in your operating system. We don't know your application, and by corollary, we have no idea about your user data. This is entirely protected content that is protected by your access key, secret key combinations, by your encryption methods. We couldn't read it if we wanted to. In fact, one of the myths of cloud is that AWS is trolling through your information like some email providers in the past that would then market heavy to you. And while there may be some marketing manager at Amazon.com that would like that information, because of the way we're architected, they couldn't get to it if they were even allowed to. It's simply impossible to read. So, AWS, 100% responsible for whatever is below the line, and you become 100% responsible for what's above the line. If you do your part, AWS is doing our part. Together, this is how you get a secure application environment.